I'm here in one of the most special places on the planet because there's a natural phenomenon that occurs here and nowhere else. I'm Phil Torres, Atlas Obscura tour guide, researcher, and science communicator. And today I'm leading a group through the butterfly sanctuaries in Michoacan, Mexico. This is where tens of millions of monarch butterflies migrate every year to spend the winter. And the history behind the scientific discoveries and the significance to the local culture are just as fascinating as the butterflies themselves.
Nosotros nos dedicamos a cuidar el bosque para que la mariposa siga llegando ahí, ya que pues es algo natural que viene, es el santuario más grande de nuestro país y nos da fuente de empleo también. Me llamo Miguel Ángel Cruz Domínguez, ejidatario del Rosario, y soy comisariado ejidal del mismo lugar, del Rosario, municipio de Ocampo, Michoacán.
The way the story of the discovery of these places gets told is that it was in the mid-1970s when people finally figured out where the monarch butterflies went every winter. That story is not untrue, but it ignores the part where all the people who lived in these places were aware that monarch butterflies showed up every year in the winter.
Pues la mariposa tiene muchos años, o sea, dice el abuelo y el bisabuelo. Yo sí, de niño ya estaban las mariposas y siguen llegando al mismo lugar. Pues yo pienso que pues estamos privilegiados porque pues no hay en todo el mundo y esa maravilla pues que tenemos, así es de que pues sí queda uno admirado.
This is incredible. Oh, the trees are just orange. They're like carpeting them. Like look back there. That's amazing.
That's me, Joe Hanson, biologist, science communicator, and YouTuber. I've been fascinated by the story of the monarch butterfly and their epic journey for years, so I jumped at the opportunity to go explore their overwintering home in Mexico along with Atlas Obscura to learn more about this epic bit of nature and its discovery. Now, I'm going to talk more about how they accomplished this epic feat over on my channel, It's Okay to Be Smart. In the early 20th century, scientists in North America and Canada were wondering, where did the butterflies go when they flew south for the winter? In 1937, a Canadian zoologist named Fred Urquhart, along with his wife Nora, began a quest to answer that question. In the 1940s, the Urquharts had devised an ingenious way to tag monarch butterflies, and thousands of volunteers across North America tagged these butterflies and reported their sightings. But every year, the migration trail vanished at the Texas-Mexico border. In 1973, Fred Urquhart put an ad in a Mexico City newspaper looking for research assistants, and two people answered, an American named Ken Brugger and his girlfriend and later wife, a young Mexican woman named Catalina Aguado. And for the next 2 years, Catalina and Ken traveled the Mexican countryside, interviewing the locals and counting the butterflies along the road. They immediately sent word back to the Urquharts, and the following year, in 1976, Fred Urquhart himself made the walk up the mountain to discover the monarch overwintering forest. The credit for the discovery of the monarch overwintering habitat traditionally goes to the Urquharts, and that makes sense. They did so much work to track and to study this migration across North America. But Catalina is only mentioned in one line of the story, a bright and delightful Mexican, Kathy. And today, as we know, uncredited on the cover, the young woman dressed in butterflies.
But this place was and is special to more than just scientists.
Una de las especies a lo mejor de la naturaleza que hay, pocas en el mundo, pues. Sí, nosotros pues hemos pensado en eso y hemos cambiado ahora terrenos de agricultura donde sembrábamos maíz, avena, trigo y hemos cambiado ahorita como 400 hectáreas por bosque. Ya no sembramos maíz ni nada. Dijimos, no, vamos a seguir sembrando árboles para que esto siga conservándose.
So each of the sanctuaries is managed by something called an ejido, which is a uniquely Mexican form of land tenure that dates back to the Mexican Revolution. And the idea is that the government grants to these communities the right to manage their lands. and the right to create sort of economic opportunities off of those lands. Each community that manages these sanctuaries gets the revenue from the ticket sales, from renting the horses that you take to get up onto the mountain, from selling you food and selling you gifts at the gift shop. And then as a community, each of the members of the ejido collectively determine how to spend that money for the benefit of the community. So it's one of the most successful sort of models for community-based conservation that we have in the world. The local guides that you interact with, the ones that take you up onto the mountain, this is their home, this is their backyard. This is where their families have lived sometimes for generations. And so you're not just helping to protect this charismatic species, but you're also giving these communities an incentive to continue protecting their home. You're giving them a reason to continue acting as stewards over this place.
Pues es importante, bueno, más que nada, como soy nativo de aquí, pues son mis raíces ahí. Y también tengo hijos para que sigan ellos con la misma tradición que yo les estoy enseñando.